Batman Arkham Origins has been out for 10 whole years now, over 10 years now. And there's been a lot of want by the people, the fans, for WB to do a remaster of Batman Arkham Origins. And I wouldn't like one, because I think the graphics suck for Batman Arkham Origins. But I would like to see the game on Nintendo Switch, because it's on the Wii U, and we just got Asylum City and Night on the Switch, which, yeah, Night sucks on the Switch. It's a great game, but it's stuck on the Switch. But I think having Origins on Nintendo Switch would be amazing. Now, the problem that I would like to argue, should it be remastered or not? Because the Origins game itself, but this original game of Origins, would run perfectly on the Switch. It would run better than City did, or Asylum did, or still is running on Nintendo Switch. But I would like to see if a remastered Origins could run on Nintendo Switch. Now, the remastered version, even if there is one, or will ever be one, I would assume it would be like Arkham Knight style graphics, right? I mean, it's a remastered, meaning new gen, Unreal Engine 5 graphics for the PS5 or whatever the hell would be out at the time. That would be my assumption. That wouldn't be able to run Nintendo Switch. Now, if Arkham Origins got like I said, an Arkham Knight style graphic update, but obviously Arkham Origins has a lot of loading time in it, which means it could work on Nintendo Switch and look as good as Arkham Knight in the remastered. But I think Nintendo can make a lot of money, and WB can make a lot of money, if they just threw Origins on the Switch in general. This original game on the Switch. Shouldn't be that difficult, considering they already did it for the Wii U, and last I checked, the Switch is more powerful than the Wii U. So, why don't you just throw it on there? Now, I think WB, if they were to do a sequel to Origins, which I'm going to do that whole video talking about whether I want that or not, because I have a lot of opinions about that, good and bad. But, since it relates to the Arrowverse now, but, well, I mean, it always would be, but you know what I mean. The point I'm trying to make is that I think Arkham Origins could be released on the Switch. It's just, does WB want to do it? Logistically, statistically, it wouldn't make sense, considering Gotham Knights pretty much flopped for WB. Not surprising, by the way. The game looked horrible in the trailer, and the only good thing about the game was the opening. I mean, the gameplay was horrible, the story, the writing wasn't really that great. Even the opening writing and that Batman scenes weren't really that great, because it made no sense. At least on the overall scope, really dig into it, makes no sense. So the game was disastrous overall. It didn't sell that great. But a Batman Arkham Origins on Nintendo Switch and a Batman Arkham Origins remaster, those two things, or maybe both combined, like I said. If they remastered Arkham Origins and threw that in the Switch, or again, just the original version on Nintendo Switch, would easily make up for the flop that Gotham Knights had. Concerning how much popularity Arkham Origins has gotten over the last couple of years, like, you know, a majority of games have, due to COVID-19, we're all being stuck at home, people getting into gaming more and more and more and more and more and more. Here we are, 2024, people are still talking about Origins and it wanting a remaster, even though it's on Nintendo Switch. And we just got the Arkham Trilogy on Nintendo Switch after years of wanting it. They finally listened and put it on there. Again, Night, not that great, but it's important to look at the facts, which is, the fact is that people talked about it and wanted it for years, and we got Night on Nintendo Switch. Not only that, we got Asylum and City, which people weren't really asking for. Maybe City, but Asylum were kind of like, oh, you know, if it can be put on there, great. If not, it's not a big deal. They put all three on there. Origins is not part of the Rocksteady trilogy. It's part of the Arkhamverse, but it's not part of the Rocksteady trilogy, which is why it was not in that collection. The matter of fact is, if they were to put Origins on there, like I said, it could easily make up for the flop Gotham Knights had. And it could even open the door for an Arkham Origins sequel, which would take place before Asylum and after Origins, I think Blackgate, wouldn't it be? Because it went Origins, Blackgate, then Asylum City and Night. And then Suicide Squad, Killer Justice League. Isn't that the timeline, or is it Blackgate Origins? I don't know. It's one of the two. But whatever way it is, it'll take place between Origins and Asylum, and probably before that Batgirl DLC that we saw in Arkham Knight, which took place before Asylum. Even though the characters didn't look like Asylum characters, but whatever, that's not important. The point is that there can be a lot of traction for WB if they do a port right and they do a remastered right. That being said, should it happen? Yes, I think it should. Because, look, Arkham Origins was the second Arkham game I ever played. I played City on the Wii U and I got Origins. And at the time, I liked Origins. I didn't love it as much as I loved City. And I hadn't played Night or Asylum yet, so I didn't know how those two games played. But I like Origins. I don't think it's the best. I don't think it's the greatest. I think it's a good game for those who love the Arkhamverse. And even for those who don't, I think it's a good game. They're much better, like Asylum, City, and Night. But it's nice to be able to learn more about Arkham Batman in the early years. One of the continuity for the gadgets, like the Lion Launcher, is out of context, which it is. Or certain, little things here and there just don't add up. The game itself is good. And I think that if they just up the graphics, they threw in a Switch, or threw in a new PS5, it would get a lot more traction. Because for this day and age for gaming, if you don't make a good-looking game, you're screwed. And Suicide Squad Kill Justice League is a prime example of that. The game's been being scrutinized for years now. Well, not years, for months now, because how the game looks. It's a not a first-person shooter, but it's a shooter aspect game that's live service. That's an Arkham game that reportedly Rocksteady didn't even want to make. So, I think that if WB wanted the Arkhamverse to keep growing, it would fall on WB, not Rocksteady. And that could keep growing through, again, WB easily making the Batman Arkham Origins game on Nintendo Switch and Origins sequel, and releasing it all on the Switch and the PS5 and PS4 and Xbox 360, or not 360, Xbox XS and whatever the hell Xbox has, or Switch 2, assuming that ever happens. We're being told to release this year in 2024. I highly doubt it. but, I mean, we were told like 2 years ago Arkham Knight would be on Nintendo Switch in 2022 and 2023, and we had to wait 2 whole years, so. But whatever. The point is that if the Arkhamverse want to continue, I think it would be done through WB. The best way to do that is through Origins, because that's the only way I think they continue Arkhamverse, depending on what they do post Suicide Squad Killer Justice League. And because I don't think, personally, I would not be okay. Well, I don't think I know I wouldn't be okay if they did another Batman Arkham game post Killer Justice League with Batman in it, with Bruce Wayne as Batman in it, excuse me, and Kevin not voicing Batman. I'm not okay with that. I don't like that idea because Kevin loved Arkham Batman. I mean, he would literally say, I remember him saying this several times over, that he loves Arkham Batman. Like, it is his favorite version to do. And that's because of Rocksteady. Now, WB decided not to bring him into Origins, which at the time I didn't like, but I think it worked out perfectly for the situation we're in now. Kevin is depressingly no longer with us, but Roger Craig Smith still is. And so I think the only way the Arkhamverse can continue with Batman in the Arkhamverse is not through a post-Batman game, unless it's Batman Beyond, with a new Batman that's not Bruce Wayne, like Terry McGinnis, or maybe even an old Dick Grayson, I guess, what they would go down maybe. Or just a new Batman game in general that's in the present day, but with Dick as Batman, like I brought up. That can easily be a factor. But I don't think it should be Bruce Wayne post Kill Justice League. Whether they kill him off or not, I don't care. But I think if they were to do a game pre-Asylum, and post-Origins, like an Arkham Origins sequel, I don't know what it'd be called, but they could easily do it. With Roger Craig Smith, if they do the story right, it would work. And I think that success could only come from either an Origins remaster or an Origins release on Nintendo Switch. Because the hype around it, which from what I'm seeing, would be a hell of a lot more hype than there was for Gotham Knights, I think would propel WB and give them the funding that they would need to do an Origins sequel and get us more of that, dark vengeance Batman, the Arkham Batman that we saw in Asylum and Origins. Obviously, it'd be without Kevin, but it would work because Arkham Origins didn't have Kevin. And so WB can easily play into this. The question is, will they? Do they want to? If they're smart, they will. If they're not, they won't. We all know they really aren't, so it probably won't. But it's still important to think about. And again, I personally would like both an Origins remaster and Origins on Nintendo Switch, but I also like to see an Origins sequel. And I think that sequel can only come through Origins Remastered or an Origins on Nintendo Switch. Because the Origins on Nintendo Switch would not only profit WB, but also Nintendo. Especially if they're going to Nintendo Switch 2. And if it's more powerful as we've been hearing it will be, getting the entire Arkham franchise, Asylum, City, Night, Origins, and Killer Justice League, all on Nintendo Switch 2, which is proclaimed to be as powerful as the PS4, if not a little bit more powerful from what we're hearing, I think can make WB and Rocksteady and Nintendo and DC a huge profit. A huge profit. I don't know if biggest profit has been on PS5, but it would still be a huge profit for them as studios and as game developers and for Nintendo itself, which I think could use it. And WB, quite frankly. So, on the scales of profit, I think it'd work. On the scale of the community, it would be great. The fans, we've been wanting this. WB, do it. We'll buy it. I'll buy it right away. I think we would all buy it because we want it. And I think when the popularity is this high, why not do it? What's to lose? Gotham Knights was a flop, and we don't know what game you're making. We were told you're going to make an Origins, not an Origins game, another Arkham game. You didn't release it. Instead, Rocksteady did Killer Justice League, and is still doing it. Which, again, a game that they reportedly didn't even want to do. They want to do an Arkham game, but not Killer Justice League. So, we'll see where that goes in the future for Rocksteady. But as regarded WB and Origins, this is their best move. If they want profit, this is their best play. And I think that over the next couple of years, who knows, maybe even this year, I would be surprised if it happens this year, but who knows, we'll see, where we could very well see WB announcing either Origins Remastered, Origins on Nintendo Switch, or Origins 2. Or all three. Or two of the three. Origins Remastered and Origins Sequel, or Origins on Nintendo Switch and Origins Sequel. Any of those things I just brought up could happen this year or next year or the year after. I can't imagine WB looks at Gotham Knights and Batman Arkham Origins and the popularity Origins had over Gotham Knights and the want and the popularity of Origins that's grown over the last few years alone, especially last year, and them wanting a remastered following Gotham Knights being so horrible, and them seeing what was done for Gotham Knights. The graphics, the bat cycle would be amazing in Origins sequel. And I'll bring that up in another video, but the point is, WB needs profit. They haven't gotten that. They need it. The things I just brought up in this video can do that. So, let me know in the comments down below what you think. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Have a good night. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.